Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Hope Canada podcast presented by the Moksha Canada Foundation. I'm your host, Carina. Thank you so much for being here. And today we have a super talented musician named Jacqueline. So please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Jacqueline Huang, and I go to Western University, and I'm in my second year performance degree. I'm actually doing a double major this year, like I said in my last interview on Zoom. And
She's talking about the artist in you, by the way.
Oh, yeah. And there's just a lot of things going on. And if anyone's thinking about doing a double major, you have to put a lot of time into it and just expect that things are going to overlap all the time. And it's very, very busy, but I love my life at Western. If anyone wants to go, it's a very, very good program. Teachers there are amazing, and social life too is actually really prominent there as well. So if you're looking for a good balance of both, it's a good school to go to. Yeah.
Amazing. I'm glad to hear that. I'm so happy for you and just super thankful that you're here, because on the Hope Canada podcast, we talk to a lot of talented individuals such as yourself, and we're just so excited to see that you are here live in person. Yeah. So how do you feel about being here at Bridalwood Mall today?
No, I'm so happy. I remember last time doing it on Zoom, and I was really, really hoping. I think I was telling you last time, it'd be so cool if I could, actually come in for an interview, and here I am. So I'm very glad that I get this experience today, so thank you very much.
Of course, thank you very much. So I know you're doing in-person school now, and you have been for, a little while. How do you feel about being, in real school, not Zoom school?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it does take more effort to
wake
actually
up,
go to school,
not be in bed on
the
bed.
Yeah. But I find that it's better because when I do get up for school, I'm energized for the day. I'm not just in bed doing my classes, and I'm actually having to pay attention more. But I love
not you exposing yourself.
No, but I love seeing my friends. It's so amazing, and just to be able to get to know more people that I haven't been able to really talk to last year, just because I tried really hard to keep my bubble smaller. And I like it. I mean,
Yeah, I'm actually in one in-person class every Wednesday, so just once a week as of now. I think I might be in maybe 2 or 3 in-person classes by the time that Ryerson, which is the school I go to, fully opens up, which will start beginning of March. So looking forward to more in-person classes for sure. But yeah, I get what you're saying. You get to see your friends, which is really nice.
And performances too. I think Western's doing really well in terms of opening things up, because I think now they actually just open it up to the public. So
to come watch. Right?
Yeah, so other family members are able to come watch now, whereas I think last semester it was only open to sometimes only the music students. On occasion it'd be open to the rest of the school. So I mean, compared to last year, it was already really, really good, because our performances were only limited to people that were in my studio.
Right.
Which is probably only around 10 other people watching. Yeah. So it was nice
just
to have a bigger
little
audience.
Class performance, not a show.
Yeah, no. So I'm glad to have more audiences to watch. Yeah.
So how about we kind of just backtrack a little bit? Tell everyone how you got involved in music.
Okay, so I actually have 2 amazing musician parents. They're both very classically trained, but I'm really glad that they're actually very, very open to other types of music, because most of the time classical musicians actually aren't. They're kind of more narrow-minded. So I'm glad about that, because I also love doing pop music and singing, and I do dancing and everything too. So I like doing a lot of other things besides classical music. But because this is my major now, it's a lot of what I have to focus on. But yeah, I had a lot of influence from my parents, and they're both wonderful. Yeah.
I love to hear that. That is super sweet, and just amazing that you've been able to be like brought up in music because of them, but you also take things in your own direction and do things your own way a little bit as well.
Yeah.
So like what other music do you like? Because you said you don't just like classical. Like what do you listen to?
I also grew up with a few very like distinct Broadway shows, one of them being Miss Saigon. And I remember growing up, I'm like, oh my gosh, it'd be so amazing if I could be like the lead role in that show, because I was obsessed with it. And the other one was Phantom of the Opera and I think Les Mis. Yeah, those three I very much like grew up with them, so I know like everything word for word. I also did dance for a few years, mostly hip hop, like that's more of my strength, but I tried some ballet too, and that was really, really difficult.
I know you did point, right, for a bit?
Yeah, I did. I tried point.
Same, yeah. It was never really something that came easy to me, because being on point shoes, okay, I could be wrong, but like I feel like your feet just have to be like a certain type of feet in order to be able to like have that arch and like really be like on top of it. So shout out to people who do point, because it's different than like ballet. It's like very challenging. Yeah.
I mean, I had really good teachers growing up. Actually, I had different music teachers growing up too, but at the end I always went back to my parents, because I guess one of the things is just I'm more used to it, and I like the way they teach. It's just very, very detailed and everything. So, yeah, I'm a very detail-oriented person, like perfectionist, and I think sometimes that could be a good thing, but also a bad thing. Like, I'm sure a lot of musicians out there can relate to this, because I'm very, very picky, but sometimes it can really get to my head when I'm having to perform. You know, like when you're performing, it's all about just showing what you can do, and all the musicality should all be out there. So
yeah, no, I completely relate, and I'm sure like a lot of people do 100%. So what advice would you give to people then as an artist?
It's a lot easier said than done, but I would just say like really work hard in the practice room. But when you get on stage, just remember that like people want to hear you perform, and they want to hear you play really well. And like if you miss a few notes, like so what? You know, it's so much easier said than done, and I'm still working on that personally. But I think I've come a long way since even last year. Just because, you know, I've had people tell me all the time, you know, like don't worry about those notes, like you can do it, just like push through that, like any difficult section of your piece. So,
for sure. Like as long as you try your best, that's really all that matters, you know what I mean? And like not everything is going to always go perfectly, but that's how you learn and grow, and that's how you get better.
You actually can't expect to be perfect as much as you wish you could be, but course, you really have to, you actually kind of have to expect to mess up. And once you kind of have that in your head, then like it feels a little bit more relaxed, and just knowing that your friends are out there to like support you and everything. So
And I know you went to an art school in high school, because I went to the same school. It's like, I wonder how I know that. That's how we met. You want to like talk about that, or talk about your experience in high school as a musician, artist?
So I actually came from Taiwan, and they just didn't really care about music that much. So moving here and like being able to experience like so many arts kids, like being around you is so amazing, and I love like that energy around me, that everyone's just working so hard towards their goals, and just making music together is so fun. I did have to audition in here, and I'm very privileged too, because our teacher, Mr. Beckwith, shout out to him, he actually saw me at the very back during orchestra one day, and he asked me to audition, and I did, and I got into like the arts program there. Yeah, that's actually how I decided that I wanted to go into music, just because there's so many like amazing like musicians around me, and how much they love music and how much time they put into it. So yeah, I was like, no, this is my environment, and I absolutely love it, so I want to continue down this path. So
yeah, no, for sure, like being surrounded by those people that are so driven and work so hard and have that like work ethic is really inspiring. And then inspires you, and then you become one of those people. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
then maybe, like, because I know, like, you obviously are very talented, and you probably
Thank you.
inspire people as well, and I know you have, like, younger
Thank you.
siblings.
Yeah.
So speaking of siblings, why don't you talk about, I know you guys kind of have, like, a family band.
Yeah,
Why
we
don't you,
do.
like, share where to find your videos and your
Yeah,
music?
my dad posts a lot of videos on his YouTube channel. It's Ronghua Huang, RONGHUAHUANG. That's my dad's YouTube channel. If you want to look for like all of our music as a family. Yeah, I mean, my sister, they aren't very much like classical like I am. Like Charlotte, my other sister, she wants to go into Ryerson like you, into the pop program because she writes her own songs, which is amazing. My youngest sister, she loves to dance and everything like that, and she plays music too. I mean, we all do. And my parents actually, they never expect us to do this as a career. It's just
It just happens.
yeah, it just happens
Yeah.
because we grow up with it, and yeah.
I love that. And so, do you have any hobbies or anything that came out of this pandemic time that you want to talk about? Because I know you were still busy with music, but like I'm kind of wondering, like maybe you and your siblings had something else that you did at home together when it was like quarantine, or
Actually, COVID gave us a lot of time because so my dad actually started like arranging a bunch of stuff. We did Swan Lake. Honestly, during quarantine, we just like played a lot of music together. Charlotte wrote a few songs for herself and like wanting to apply for uni. There's nothing in particular that we do together. But I know like last summer, it was still quarantine, so like I spent a lot of time with horses, like being outdoors.
yeah.
I tried to not be indoors too much besides my home. So, yeah, like besides playing music, I mean like movie nights and stuff like that, we did a lot.
I love that.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it.
Cool. And then coming out of the pandemic now, hopefully, things are going to start to open up even more, if we're thinking positively, which it seems like that is happening. So, do you have anything that you're looking forward to? Do you want to travel anywhere? Any shows you want to see?
I mean, I'm hoping like the Broadway shows will start coming back in like downtown Toronto.
Yeah.
But as for me personally, I'm just really excited to perform more for like live audiences and not just in front of a camera. It's just a whole different experience, having audience there is actually very it like pumps you almost to like be
like
on
adrenaline,
stage.
right?
Yeah, the adrenaline, just like the pumping on stage and like with actual people.
Yeah.
And our family's actually going to, well, we're really thinking about it, but we're going to do like summer camp for little kids and all our students. And we're planning to do like musicals and stuff. So.
Oh, I want to see that. That's
like
so
little
cool.
kid musicals. Yeah.
Yeah, like the students that come to your house. And things like that? Okay.
One of them being Annie, a very famous musical, and
Yes.
Seuss Gold the Musical. It's a Dr.
that.
Seuss one. Yeah. So those two we'll definitely be
Amazing.
doing. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. That'll definitely be awesome. It's a really good idea, actually.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So who is your biggest inspiration, or if you want to talk about more than one person, that's cool too. It can be like a famous musician or like someone, in your family.
Yeah. Well, my family definitely comes first. Just because, they're my parents, right? Like, I look up to them so much, and they're just, like, actually so amazing. It's not even funny. Like, yeah. Who else? There's a few top-notch, like, musicians, obviously, like Hilary Hahn. I look up to how, like, her strength in playing. I really love that. Ray Chen also, because I watched him live, and he was so powerful. I just love the essence he brings onto the stage, and I don't know, I admire that very much because sometimes I tend to shrink in.
Is he the one his string broke on stage?
Yeah, it was him, yeah.
And he just like keeps playing, like
Yeah.
nothing happened. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it was him. Yeah. He's amazing.
Yeah, so I think that that's really beautiful that you look up to your family, your parents, but then you also have these other influences as well. And I think it's nice to have influences like in your real life that you like see and you have that personal connection with, but then also people where it's like you can idolize them and maybe want to be as famous as like Ray Chen one day or something.
Oh
You know
my
what I
gosh.
mean? Because
I wish.
Jacqueline definitely has the potential for sure
Thank you.
to be like a huge star, 100%. Um, do you want to talk a little bit about where you see yourself in the future or any plans that you have?
Sure. Well, after undergrad, I do plan to. I, I'm hoping to do a master's for performance if I can get into schools like U of T and stuff like that, because the teachers there are like absolutely insane. So it'd be really nice to do that. And I mean, my parents are also planning to open up a music studio. So if that
Yes.
happens, if that really happens, I'm really hoping it does. I'll most likely be working in there and teaching. Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, I love kids, so I don't mind if I became a teacher. But I just think like also having that performance aspect to your life, I guess, in terms of schooling. I personally think that's just better in a way. I'm not like looking down on like music ed kids because like they also have to do a lot of their own things. Just in terms of my own instrument and like playing wise, I think that's just better just because a lot of times we have to figure out a lot of things on our own. And once we do that, we're really able to like teach because we do invest a lot more time than like music ed kids do, even though they have like things like recitals as well. So yeah.
And I just wanted to ask, like, do you have any struggles that you've had as a musician that you would be willing to share that you feel like you kind of like overcame?
Honestly, it's just the nerves. The nerves really,
I feel that, yeah.
The nerves really get to me, and I'm just learning to not let it get to me. And it's honestly getting better. It's just performing. A lot of things are just in my head because my fingers, like my hands know what to do and everything. It's just whether or not my mind is strong enough to like push through that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah. Performance anxiety is definitely a real thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Especially like because I can relate about being a perfectionist. If like one thing doesn't go right, like whether it was at like a dance competition or just like a show at school or whatever, for the rest of the day I'm in a bad mood.
Yeah, I
like
know.
don't talk to me.
Aww.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember crying after a few of my performances.
Yeah, literally
I'm like, that went so bad. Blah, blah,
but at the end of the day,
blah.
no one notices ever. Like no one cares. Like if one, like if you're singing a note and maybe it was a little bit flat, like it's fine.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world. And that's how you get better too, because for me, like I like to go back and watch videos of my performances, and then I'm like, okay, like I need to fix that next time, and then like you do because you remember about focusing on that specific part, and then it's better as you keep improving and doing it more and more.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in like 5 years time? Like, do you think like where do you think you're gonna be living? Like, what like you want to live here? Any big plans?
I'm hoping to probably just stay in Markham, just because, I mean, as an Asian, it's like very prominent that parents love to send their kids to music lessons. So, in terms of business, I think Toronto would still be better. But like, I mean, America's great too. I never know. I'm just like, I don't try to plan too much because as a musician, I think you really have to be flexible.
Go with the flow.
Yeah, because you never know what opportunities are going to come up, and like it might be in a totally different country and you will never know. So, I mean, my dream job would to just be playing an orchestra and then do piano accompaniment on the side for like university students. Yeah.
That would be really cool. Yeah, that's awesome. And like, do you have a specific way of managing your time? Like, do you like make like a schedule, like a daily schedule, and like how do you just get everything done that you need to get done because you do so much?
I think because I do have a lot of things to do, it just comes naturally
Yeah, you're just like go, go, go.
to me. Yeah, I'm always
Yeah.
on the run. Like, there's no, like, breaks. I mean, sometimes I'll be so tired. I think a lot of kids can relate to this, too. They just sleep in the practice room because
You're like at the piano or something.
No,
Like,
really, for real, because
yeah.
I'm there, like, 12, 13 hours a day. I think my longest was, like, 14. Because of different rehearsals and classes, and I have to practice, and like, so I just have to bring all my meals into the practice room, and I literally just take a room for the whole day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, it's definitely hard work for sure, but you are a star. You're
Thank you.
thriving.
Thank you.
Do you have any favorite pieces that you like to perform?
Well, the piece I'm working on, I think is really, really good because it's actually written by a Chinese composer, and as a Chinese, violinist, I think it's important to learn it and to just share my culture with other people. And I like it too because not a lot of people play it. Sometimes I just think like some pieces are just played so much and they're absolutely beautiful, but they're just played too much to the point where I'm like, oh yeah, it's almost like mainstream music for us, like as musicians. So yeah.
And so, why don't you just tell everyone like where to follow you? I know you talked about
Sure.
your dad's YouTube channel, but is there anywhere else that people can keep up with what you're doing?
Yeah, sure. Honestly, like my dad's YouTube channel is like the biggest platform
Okay.
to be like watching us and like all the videos that are coming out. But my Instagram is Jackie DNCR. Stands for dancer actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. And so, also just let everyone know, what are you going to be performing for us today?
Oh, it's called Butterfly Lovers, and like I said before, it's a Chinese piece. I mean, it's actually quite sad. Just think about it as the Chinese version of Romeo and Juliet. So, yeah, like in the end, they both die. But the beautiful part is that they become butterflies after.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
That is beautiful. I love that. And I'm excited to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
So, any last words that you want to leave with the audience?
Sure. Just keep working hard because it really does pay off, like I said in the other interview too. And really focus on what you want to work on because that's so important. As someone with ADHD, it's kind of hard to focus, but you just really have to focus. Like that's my teacher has been drilling that in me, just to focus, 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 and you can be practicing for like 5-6 hours a day and not get anything done. So
Yeah, I get
that's
that.
the thing where you need to know what you're supposed to be listening for and like working on. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Like, definitely focus on your goals. Make sure that
Yeah.
you are striving for what you want. Stay committed, stay on
Yeah.
top of it, but then also, like, take time for self-care, too. Like, don't forget about
Yeah.
yourself. Like, sometimes you need to relax.
No,
too.
like please don't forget
Yeah.
about yourself
Yeah.
because you will crash, and
Yeah.
that's never a good thing because it takes longer to pull yourself back
Yeah.
up to that. So,
Yeah. I always say, like, work hard, but don't work too hard.
Yeah.
Like, don't overwork yourself because
Don't
that's
overwork,
not
yeah.
good either, obviously. Well, thank you so much for coming today. I really appreciate it. You're a
Thank you.
star.
Thank you.
Everyone, follow Jacqueline. Keep up with her Instagram, also her dad's YouTube channel. And yeah, thank you so much to everyone watching. I hope, Jacqueline, that you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Hi everyone, I'm gonna play Butterfly Lovers. In Chinese, it's called 梁山伯与祝英台. This is a piece that I connect to really well because it is a Chinese piece and I am Chinese myself, and I think it's important for me to, bring out my culture and everything. And it's written by Chen Gang. I don't know if you've heard of that, but he wrote this piece based on an opera called 梁山伯与祝英台, and he wrote it for his graduate project. Yeah. And this piece is really beautiful, and as I said earlier in the interview, that just think of it as Romeo and Juliet, but in a Chinese version. But in the end, instead of them just dying, they become butterflies after. So, yeah. And in between each section, I will be talking about what happens in it. So, yeah. Okay, so that part was the very beginning of the story, and Liang San Boryu, she, back then in Chinese culture, girls weren't allowed to get education, they weren't allowed to go to school, so she ended up going to her father dressed as a little boy and telling him that, oh, I want to go to school, so can I dress up as a boy and just go? And his dad ended up actually letting her go to school. And this very beginning part is just that scene of her going off to school and meeting new people. So the whole theme of this piece is actually the very first verse that I played, which is. So this part happens again, comes back again at the very end of the piece, but it has a different feeling to it because unfortunately they both died. So it has more of a heavy feeling to that. Instead of in the beginning, it's very lighthearted and happy and everything. So this next part I'm going to play, it's her just meeting new friends and I think going to a festival. first part of the second movement. And now I'm going to play the part where she found out that her dad told her that she was betrothed to somebody else, so that she has to go home to meet him and everything. So, yeah. Okay. So that part was very, very sad because she had to be separated from the person that she did fall in love with at school, and she was forced to go home and everything. So this last part, it's very crazy because a storm comes in, and the girl, she finds her lover's grave actually on the side, and she jumps off, contemplating whether or not she should jump in and everything with him because she was just so, so sad that he had died. So yeah, this last part. Okay, thank you. That was the oh my god. Thank you for listening, and that was the end of the first half. This piece is about 30 minutes long, so I only played about 15-ish minutes. Thank you for listening to me play, and my social media, Instagram is Jackie Dancer, DNCR at the end, and my dad's YouTube channel is actually the biggest one that you can look for. It's Ronghua Huang, RONG space HUA space HUANG. Yeah. Thank you.